It's another Friday.
Another Friday. Yeah, the weather's awesome out here. It's like warming up. It's like 50 degrees out. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would say it's like 60. Like, I guess in the mornings it's around 50s, somewhere around there. High 50s.
Yeah, I mean it's warm for us out here, which I'll take it for now. Um so one thing we're going to talk about this week is the new EnGenius switch extender. I'm gonna put it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it up here. So what is this thing? You want to talk about it? You know more about it than me, so I don't actually have one yet.
I don't really know that much about it, but I'll talk to it. No, it's a switch, but the importance of it is to extend PoE, right? That's
Yeah.
one of the benefits to it. And so I have one right here. See how small it is?
Yeah.
Thing's small. If you're familiar with the 1008 or the 2910, here's a comparison. This is one of our smallest switches, and then now you have this one.
Hold it up a little bit more. You can't see the there you go. So yeah, so it's about what 30% shorter than the Switch.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right. Yep. So
Um,
this is the first version. We'll have multiple versions, but the importance of this is that it has no power,
right.
right?
No
There's
power input.
no barrel connector for power, right? It's powered by PoE, so it can be powered here, and then you can send power. And you can send 30 watts on each of these ports. So you can have up to, PoE plus or 802.3 AT or AF through this.
Nice.
So what you want to do is you want to power this so you have, we'll just use the max. 328 feet away, plug it in, it's powered up, and then you can now go another 328 feet from this device. But it operates as a switch, and it can be configured through the cloud, and you can actually apply like switch templates to it. So if you have like hundreds of these devices, you can apply the configurations to like all 100 or whatever the number is, right?
And it supports VLANs. I'm looking at the specs here. So
VLAN
yeah,
trunking, yeah.
yeah. So it's basically a switch that's PoE powered, and you'd have to you can if you feed it just a regular 802.3 AT 30 watts in, then you'll get 15 watts out, right?
Yep.
And
Yep,
then if
that's
you
right.
feed it 30 watts in, I'm sorry, if you feed it 60 watts in, which is an 802.3 BT PoE plus plus connection, then you get 30 watts out.
Yep.
So that's a over AT, right? That's more than AT that you'll get out.
Yep.
Let's see, and then if you have a BT Type 4, you can get 60 watts out. Total budget.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, its total budget is up to 60 watts.
60 watts.
Yeah.
Now, so like you said, you could use this to extend Ethernet out beyond 100 meters, which is great because let's say you have to make a longer run, you don't have a 120 volt outlet there to plug a device into, right? A switch
Right.
into. You can use this to extend it, right?
Yep.
Extend the Ethernet,
That's right. Yeah.
or
Extend the Ethernet, extend the power. Right.
extend the Ethernet and the PoE. So let's say you and what's the minimum? So if you just want to extend the Ethernet without PoE out, you could probably feed this with like a regular AF switch, even, right, just to get it to power up.
If you're just looking for like connectivity, right? You're not
Yeah,
trying to pass power. Yeah, you could probably use just AF. I mean, I actually had it powered on this smaller switch
yeah.
just to get it into the cloud and to see what look at the interface on the cloud. So, I was powering up this device, no problem with that.
So one, you could use it to extend the Ethernet,
Yep.
which would be good. Another, you can use it to power PoE devices. So if you wanted to place an access point out, another 100 meters from this device, from this extender, then you could do that too.
Yeah, you could do, a lot of people, that's what typically comes up, but,
Yep.
it can be used for anything. It can be used for cameras. It can be used for multiple things, right?
Yeah.
Anything that's PSE.
in some applications, like we were talking about, would probably be for like education, for MDUs, hotels.
Yeah, so one of the main things in like in multifamily units,
Yeah.
senior living, I just heard the other day, cruise ships,
Yeah.
um, hospitality, student housing, senior living, right? Is that uh, you're typically building PANs or private area networks
Hmm.
with VLAN. So you're putting basically everybody on a separate VLAN, and so because you have VLAN trunking, you can pass all those VLANs through this little switch.
Yeah. And in these situations, a lot of times there's limited 120 volt outlets. You know, in like hotels, like the outlets are always like in the worst places.
Yeah.
And you
Yep.
know you'll need to. I know that there's usually one back of the TV, but you can't get to it. And you know if they want to add more devices, then this will let them add some PoE devices like a phone or set top box or something like that that's PoE
Yep.
powered.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
there's a lot of different use cases for it. I mean, you can even drop these things you put them in a drop ceiling. There's a multiple things that you can use this for because of how small it is. It's very small, but it packs a lot of power and a lot of capabilities. But yeah, the use case that we're running into was specifically student housing and multifamily units, and I would see this for senior living. And then I just learned because there's so many rooms in a cruise ship. I mean, you would use it in those types of scenarios. I mean, imagine the cable runs in like a cruise ship. That's kind of
have you ever been
crazy to
on
think
one?
about. I never really thought about it.
Have you ever been on a cruise ship?
Never.
You got to go on one.
Never,
It's fun.
yeah.
I'm telling you.
I've been to one, and that was in it was in Greece.
Oh, okay.
It was more like a ferry. I was going from Italy to.
Oh no, I've been on a
Yes.
few. It's fun, but yeah, there's limited space, so I could in limited power in those cruise ship cabins. You know, they're like pre-manufactured. They put them in there, and basically that's all that you got, right? And if then they wanted to add some more technology in, this would be a good way to do it because now you're maybe they have one drop in every cabin. Now you can get multiple drops.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a really good product. Do you want to talk about the price point at all?
Yeah, I could see using it for IP phones too. Like that would be a pretty good use case.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, getting it to power up multiple IP phones, like in an office or something, right?
Yep.
So yeah, the price point. Let's see. I can share this. So the MSRP is 102.29. Am I right there? Let me make sure.
That sounds like an odd
Oh, that's
number.
not right. That's not right. No one look at that. The MSRP is
129.
It's 129. I'm gonna fix that right now. So
Nobody look at that.
yeah, 129, which is a good price point for this little device, right?
Oh yeah, heck yeah. And that's MSRP price. So
Right.
you know,
Yeah, you may
I would
if you
suggest
contact me, you may be able to
contacting
get
you, right?
yeah, you may be able to get a lower price on that.
You think so?
I'm not gonna say what it is, but okay, we're back to 129. All right, so yeah, the price point's great. I was a little surprised it was that low, because of the functionality that this is gonna give you.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
mean,
so
yeah, it's awesome.
so we also wanted to talk a little bit about the MSP portal.
Yeah.
So the new licenses that were added.
Yep.
Now, I was on your webinar the other day. Great job, like explaining how it works and everything. And I mean, other manufacturers have MSP functionality built into their clouds too. But usually they're always it's a pay per license for anything like that, right?
Well, I mean, even to talk to some of these vendors, you have to pay money, right?
Right.
So it's totally different with us. So some of those functionalities are built maybe into their system, and some of them are not built at all.
Yeah.
You don't have the option for it. But typically the vendors that do have these options that we have for our MSP portal, if they do have them, you're paying for it up front, regardless if you're using it or not, just like every other feature
Right.
that is out there, right? So you're paying for everything that's within that system, regardless if you need it or use it,
Right.
right? Whereas we took a different approach, where we work with I said this on the webinar. We work with a wide range of customers or partners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of those partners are dealing with small projects, and they have many of those projects, but they're small footprint. And then there are some that are working on very, very large projects. So if you think of that and all the features that they would need in those different scenarios, that's where cloud comes into play. And so we have it where you can start to scale up, right? And part of that scaling up is becoming, as you get, maybe I'm a system integrator or an installer and I'm only doing residential, and then I run into bigger opportunities. Maybe I start going into small business offices, and then I get bigger and bigger and bigger. They can grow within cloud very easily. They can scale within cloud very easily. And becoming an MSP, a managed service provider, is one of those, trends where I started off as an installer. I moved to a VAR maybe, and then I go to an MSP and I'm offering services. That's where like the EnGenius Cloud comes in, and we offer this tool called MSP Portal. And MSP Portal gives you a lot of capabilities. It basically takes, if you're familiar with cloud, and if you're not, you can have as many customers in cloud as you want, and they're called organizations. And I can look at them at an individual level, right? But if I want to consolidate that view or those organizations, I will look at them in one dashboard. That's where MSP Portal comes into play. So it allows me to view all these organizations at once. And more importantly, as you're scaling up, you're offering more and more advanced functions, services, and so on. You move into like a licensing model as well, right? Mm-hmm. So now your customers are paying for a license because they need these more advanced like features. And so you need to track those licenses along with all the devices. So we wanted to build a dashboard that allows you to track all that very easily, and to be able to move your devices and your licenses to different customers or different, what we call as organizations. So that's one of the main functions, along with a couple other things that we talked about, not a couple, but many other things that we talked about on the webinar on Wednesday.
Yeah, so the ability to to copy copy networks and move networks, right, between orgs. That's one of the main things. Yeah,
so the way cloud sits today is that you can copy a network. You have an organization, right? You have all these customers. They're individually organizations, and then within an organization, I can copy a network within the organization. Well, I can't copy that network to another organization or into a new organization. And I can't copy an organization. So we wanted to build in the functionality where you can copy a whole org, which means everything under that org. If you have 20 networks under that org, you could do that. Or if I want to copy a particular network into a new org or an existing org, I can do that as well.
Right. So every time you spin up a new customer for an MSP, you can just copy that org into the new customer, and then it's already going to have the configuration underneath it.
Yeah, exactly. So, so there's a lot of situations where you have MSPs that go into similar vertical, or they go into, for example, they go into MDU, and they need to build out, maybe every floor is a separate network, or it's a university or a school that has 20 buildings, and you just want to copy those configurations over and then just modify those configurations to your new customer. You can do that.
Right. So yeah, it adds that functionality. Like you don't have to buy this. You can do it all manually, without an MSP license if you're dealing with smaller customers. But this is really for the larger customers like universities, telco providers, MDU providers, things like that, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mainly, the name is, it's for MSP. So,
but everyone thinks they're an MSP. They're like, they have like maybe, 10 customers and they're an MSP. You know what I mean? Like, or
they're trying to scale up. They're trying to get to that particular level, right? So this is one of those avenues to be able to do that.
Right. All right, sounds good. I'll put a link to your webinar in case anyone wants to read more about the MSP portal. and then we'll be back next week. All right. Remember to like and subscribe.